All right, so we got another found footage film here, and this is from that cryptid verse that we watched another film from, and we
Uh-huh.
tried to watch another one, but
We did not finish the other one we started.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is the Wendigo. This was brought to my attention by the director Jake Robinson, who has been patiently waiting for this review. He's written me a couple times, and I'm like, bro, it's my wife, 100%. So you want to blame anybody?
Not
Every night
fair.
she's like, oh, too tired,
I
and I'm
am.
like, we've got to review
I'm
this.
sorry.
So, excuse the setup. It's not the new setup. It's just
No, it's not the new setup
we got
at all.
pushed in here by my kids.
Yes.
But there you go. Anyways, this movie is about a social media guy who is live casting out in the woods, and then he gets disappeared.
Yes, he gets
He
disappeared.
he disappears, and so some other like friends of his and other social media people like go out there to look and think it's like a big hoax, and when they get out there, you know, things happen, and
Things do happen.
probably not a hoax.
Probably
But
not.
you'll have to watch
Yep.
the movie to find out.
Yep.
Okay. Um, you know, obviously this is low budget. Of the three from the cryptid verse that we watched, even though we didn't finish the other one that we didn't review, obviously, because we wouldn't review it if we didn't finish it. This was definitely the best one.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
so when it comes to this, like other things that we had watched, one of our big gripes was just like nothing happens, right? And I definitely can't say that with this one, right?
No, a lot
Like
happens.
a lot happens
Yes.
towards the end. And thank you, this movie is not very long. And with movies like this, it's like, please, if you have no budget and you don't have like a ton of story or anything, found footage movies should be like 60 to 70 minutes long. It just works better that way. When I'm watching an hour, when it's an hour and a half and nothing is happening,
Right.
it just feels like you're just trying to make it a specific time because that's what you think is expected.
Right.
And it's like, cut down 20 minutes and actually have something happen. Like use those extra, that extra time that you'll have now not having to film, you can put it into coming up with something.
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Come up with something that actually happened. With all of these movies too, the acting is what it is, right? You just come to expect like, okay, did this acting feel natural? Not really, but it wasn't atrocious either.
No, definitely not.
It was just amateur.
Yeah. There's definitely a few people that I think I liked the acting more from,
Sure.
which I think tends to be the case in, low budget found footage films a lot of the time, is that there's always like one or two actors that you're just like, it's not working.
Yeah.
And then there's others that are a little, that are better. And I found that to be the case with this. I did also want to say one of the things that I liked, because I know that they're all like these three movies are in the same like universe,
Yeah.
and this was the first one. Obviously we didn't finish one of them, but this one I really felt like there was actually
Connected
a
it.
tie-in.
Yeah.
And I thought it was done really well, in like a very like subtle and kind of creepy way, so I really appreciated that, because I think if you're gonna make films
Connected
in it, yeah,
universe, yeah.
it should be done artfully.
Yeah.
So I liked that. I liked the setting too. I think the woods looked really cool.
So there was a feud going on in this movie.
Yeah.
That just kept reoccurring over and over. It's between a guy and a girl, and it gets very tiresome because, and it's fine. It's not really a knock as much as it was just more of a personal preference of like, I don't know what their feud is, but I really wish they'd shut the fuck up. Now, that can be very realistic,
Sure.
but that doesn't mean it's enjoyable. And maybe that's not the intention, and it's supposed to, raise tensions and, break down trust and all that kind of stuff. But like this guy and this girl going back, like I feel like because we didn't have context. Now, I don't really know how I feel. Not great, but like him, he just felt like an asshole. Like he was being so overtly aggressive and saying just really shitty things that I'm like, dude, I don't care how much you hate this girl. Like there's certain things you just don't say. And so it was just kind of kept going like, okay, who the hell is this idiot? And so it made it harder to care about those characters for sure. And then everyone else just kind of felt, because a lot of the movie was very focused on their animosity towards one another, everyone else kind of just fell into the background. Like there was some attempt at like an awkward romance between two characters, one of which was named Kaylee.
Yeah.
But that didn't really have time to be anything.
I actually was interested in that romance arc as well, and the rivalry that was happening. The girl, I actually really disliked her character. I found her to be, I was like really mad at her and how she was treating her friend and stuff, and that's right, because that was the big thing.
She was really shitty to her.
But I do think that,
really shitty.
She was really shitty. I do think that their rivalry kind of took center stage.
Yes.
And I cared about her friend Kaylee. I cared about the other filmmakers that are there, the two,
other guys.
I don't know their names. Yeah, the two other guys. I cared about them because I actually liked their chemistry together with each other. I thought that they had, like, believable friendship stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rivalry just, like, kind of stole all the attention.
Yeah.
And I think that I would have liked to see more from the other characters, especially with like how the movie plays out and the ending and everything. I think that would have been more impactful if we had more connection with all the other characters too.
Had we had context,
or if
like
we just
stronger
had
context for why they were fighting.
Yeah.
Like to give us a really good indication of like, oh wow, like she did that or he did that or even better, like I can see both sides.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, that's like the best to see.
And so you're kind of like, yeah, I get why both of them are pissed off, and I get why they're going at it, right? But like, they were both just kind of shitty people who were fighting a whole bunch, and that took up such a majority of the energy in the film that I just kind of kept sitting there like, oh god, shut the fuck up. But that, I mean, as I said, that can feel very real because I've definitely been in those situations where two people are just terrible
like
and they're constantly fighting with each other, and you're like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. So it doesn't make it for an enjoyable experience, but I don't know how unrealistic it is. It just, I feel like for it to be more engaging and less like a chore, is to have a better understanding of why these guys are fighting and make us, the audience, understand their feud.
Yeah.
And then, but they can be terrible people. That's fine.
Oh, sure.
I don't really care about that.
It's not that they need to change as a character. Yeah.
But then when like shit hits the fan, like things get going.
Yeah, it has a really ambitious ending.
It really goes for it, right? Like a lot is happening in that last like 10 minutes. A lot of bleeding eyes. Yeah.
I actually think there was some effective stuff, because like, I don't want to give spoilers away, but there's like, people start kind of like, you lose track, like, everyone's all together and then people separate, and I thought that was pretty creepy. So yeah, I thought that was effective.
Yeah, for a low budget, ultra low budget found footage film, it was ambitious. It just got bogged down by very unlikable characters constantly screaming at each other terrible things and being shitty to each other. So like, even the, like, okay, for instance, like in the Blair Witch Project, yes, Heather and Josh and Mike, like, they do get at each other.
But we work our way there.
But we really understand why.
Yes.
Right? Like, we completely get it. Like, Mike is like just pissed off, and they do make up.
Yes.
Like when they go at each other, and then Mike's like really like, oh man, it's one of my very favorite scenes of the entire Blair Witch Project is when Mike and Heather had just gotten into this huge fight, and then it cuts away for a second and comes back, and he's like, "I'm so sorry. Like I'm like, did I hurt you?" Like the sincerity and the genuine, like, this isn't me.
Right.
Like, the situation is making me a villain, and I'm not that person.
Yeah.
And we see who they really are, and who Heather really is. And when Josh tries to step in, he's like, "You're being a smart ass. You're being a smart ass." Like, they're good people.
Right, but in a like extremely stressful
But they're in an
situation.
extremely
And I with this film too, I do think that there are elements that are making them like fight more, like kind of like amping things up. So I think that's part of it. But yeah,
there's no tension going on when this is happening. At this point in the movie, when they're fighting back and forth, nothing's even happened yet. Right. So it's like it feels like inflated. It feels like falsely adding stress to an unstressful situation yet, because I would like to have ramped up the atmosphere, and then the tensions grow. Like, they should be fighting more and more because things are getting scarier, things are getting more dire, and then they start turning on each other. They turned on each other throughout the whole thing before anything happens, and then stuff starts happening, and they're not fighting anymore because shit's happening, and it happens so fast and so rapidly that there's no tensions to ramp up between people, because once it hits, and it's just go, end. Right.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that stuff just didn't work for me because of that.
Yeah. I also actually wanted to say I liked the opening with there's like different streamers that are shown like reacting to a video. I actually thought that was cool,
it's a smart idea.
It's a smart idea, and I felt like all the streamers felt like realistic, like YouTube reactors and stuff, and it was just kind of fun seeing the different reactions to the video. But yeah.
Once again, another film. If you're like a hardcore found footage enthusiast and you don't mind ultra low budget fare and some amateurish acting, I think there's some stuff here enough to watch it for sure.
Definitely.
But if you're not a found footage fan or any of that stuff, I'm not recommending it.
Yeah.
It's
not
only
for
avid
found footage fans. But it's good to support low budget, new horror and everything. So if you are, it's worth checking out.
If it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Do not support garbage.
No, this isn't garbage.
People say this all the time. People are like, "Oh, you got to support low budget." No, I don't.
I know. Yeah. I mean, you want to support what you want to see more of course.
Yeah.
And this was like we said, if you're a found footage fan, like a hardcore found footage fan, there's definitely some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's worth seeing.
Yeah. With some annoying ass characters.
Definitely some annoying ass characters for sure. But
all right, sorry it took so long to get to this, but there it is.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys, let us know if you checked it out, and thank you for sending us this, movie to watch.
Thank you.
To tell everybody. So check it out. Let him know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure he'll be checking. So there you go. Bye, guys.
Bye.